Welcome back, everybody. Now presenting Amelia Enriquez with the title Before and After.
Hello. Okay. Before and after. Look around. Do you see diversity? Racism has racism has evolved significantly over the time, influenced by various social, political, and economic factors. In the past, overt forms of racism, such as excluding and discriminatory laws, were very usual. For example, 60% of black employed women were domestic servants. Now it's down to 2.2%, while the 60% holds still white collar jobs. Black people could be bought and sold like property and treated or mistreated as their owners wished. However, as society has progressed, there has been shifts towards racial equality towards them. Today, in the discussions about racism, often focus on concepts like privilege and systematic inequality, etc. Impact on historical, racial towards them. Movements advocating racial equality, such as Black Lives Matter, has brought attention to these issues, highlighting the need for ongoing dialogue and actions to combat this issue. Understanding the revolution of racism requires an explanation of history and current events that can manifest on a better future, that we can create a better future. Thank you.
Great job, Amelia. That was a really good TED, a really interesting topic.
We welcome you to answer of questions we have for you.
Now presenting.
How are you doing?
Good, and you?
Okay, so I have a question for you. What was your main motive for you to talk about integrity of black people in society today?
Because I saw like a big difference in the past, like in the past of black people, and now like black people can work now. They have good jobs, and in the past they didn't. Like they were slaves.
Okay,
Thank you.
Now presenting Noemi Nora with the title Consuming in Our Youth.
Man, I hate Sephora kids. Like, have you seen them? You might hear of the expression of putting lipstick on a pig, but for me, they are more like little monkeys trying to look like orangutans. But don't take me wrong, I will explain this. Do you know that this is one of the most consumeristic generations? To be fair to my generation, this generation has been grown up in a world who has lived several things in several things, like we're electing presidents, the rise of influencers, TikTok, and for COVID-19 to crying out loud. And this has changed the world as we knew it before. Uh, but why is this generation so consumeristic? Uh, First, we need to understand that we are creating necessities about things we didn't used to have. Like, for example, many of the girls of this generation like Owala or Stanley water bottles. And I'm not going to lie, I'm part of the problem. But why is this? It's because we are creating a necessity. And when we see more and more people with something that we want or is trending, we want it. And brands know this. And they make or their marketing advertising directly to us because we are a generation who are, we are young, we are very influenceable. We are trying to fit in or trying to look for our identities. So tell me, how does it make sense that after other work in carpool karaoke, I ended up with a Stanley water bottle because she was drinking in one? Or how Kylie Jenner make us all believe that if we use her product, will have the same results as her in our lips. But to me, we are the most consumeristic generation because even though sometimes we think we are just following a trend, we ended up in it, and that's what brands know want. So I just hope we take our authenticity back, and I will just drink water from my bottle.
Okay.
Hi, Joy.
Joimi,
You
come
did a
here,
great
please.
job. Hi. So, what was like your purpose or like the your motive or the reason why you wanted to talk about this?
Well, basically, because I think this generation is very consumeristic and everything we see on TikTok or in social media, we want it. But I don't think like other generation was like this.
Okay, thank
Okay,
you.
thank you. Next, next presenter will be Sara Rojas with the title Redefine Revolution, the Unstoppable Force of Youth Activism.
Young people have always had a big role when we come to talk about creating change, and that's still today. Young activists are leading movements that challenge the way things are, using their creativity and energy to push for a better and more inclusive future. They question the norms that older generation often accept, fighting for issues like um, climate justice, racial equality, and gender rights. What makes today youth activism even more powerful is the way they use technology. Social media allows them to organize and share ideas around the world. Beyond, besides using technology, young people bring fresh perspective. They refuse to accept that things can change, and they don't wait for permission. They act. Um, they act. They show that revolution doesn't always mean chaos. Sometimes it's about persistent work for a change. So, by challenging the status quo, youth activists are shaping a more dynamic and just future. They are not just the leaders of tomorrow, they are the change makers of today. It's showing us all that revolution can be peaceful, inclusive, and lasting. Thank you.
Give a round of applause to Sarah, her second time speaking.
Sarah, come here really quick, please.
Quickly, please.
Hi. Microphone. You did a
Hi.
great job.
Thank you.
So my question for you is how can young people contribute to meaningful social charge?
As I said, they can express what they want to do behind social media.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Next up, Barbara Lira on revealing social media maze.
Okay. Hi. Once upon a time, social exchanges involved conversations around the kitchen table, on the front porch, or the backyard. Western Union was the original Bitcoin. Letters were sent through the postal system, and news were delivered by a bike messenger each morning. Then came the internet and social media, connecting people worldwide and changing everything. Social media can be both a blessing and a curse. It has grown as people sought ways to interact online, but it's more than just connection. It's a maze of endless things that can lead you down a bottomless pit. A constant flow of interaction, news, and gossip can create a cycle that it's hard to break if not managed well. With constant dopamine hits, our attention spans are shrinking. We read less and get bored after the first 20 minutes of a movie. But how tough is it for students to pay attention in class without reaching for their phones? Heck, I'm probably losing your attention by now. But how serious can it be? Imagine a scenario where a child immersed in the world of social media, thinking they're part of important conversations every day, laughing. Sounds like a pretty cute love story. But one out of three instances behind that screen, there could be a 50-year-old looking to exploit that innocence. We need to bring awareness to to our realities of our digital lives and the consequences that come with it. Thank you.
Thank you. Really good job, Barbara.
Barbara, welcome.
No quiero la interview.
Please.
Well, next up, we have Esteban Melo, Electronics in School Revolution. Round of applause, please.
Imagine a world where learning isn't confined to classrooms, textbooks, or notebooks. A world where creativity, innovation, and practical skills can be more precise to every student. In 2022, when I was in my old school, the use of electronics were not even an option there. When I switched to Lumuri, I learned that using electronics are essential for learning. One reason for that is that as you as a student can get individual learning and a more precise for each student requirement. You can also have a more organized class using electronics to write down classes without the need of a notebook and searching information, without the need of using books. Last reason is that the teachers can have a better system to put in grades, and they can have better systems like Moodle or Classroom to uh, to put in their homeworks and stuff like that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Esteban, come here, please, for the interview.
Hi.
I
So my question for you is, do you think that electronics has helped students in school environment?
Yeah, I think that the electronics has helped a lot of students because it has been more like organized and more simple for the students to, uh, besides using a notebook, and they can have a certain application to write their classes and do all the homeworks there.
Okay, thank
Yeah.
Okay,
you.
thank you. Really good job. Next up, we have Gustavo Fernandez, Soccer New Era.
Round of applause, please.
Talented players in their teens and early 20s are breaking records and redefining the future of this sport. But what is this happening now? We have now a lot of scouting networks that we could use to bring players. Let me think. For example, from Africa, bringing him to Europe. Um, but well, what are the challenges that those players are having now? They have a lot of injuries because demands a lot of physical stats and the high expectations that they need to improve. Um, well, the youth revolution in soccer is transforming the game, and the soccer looks more than interesting than ever.
Good job.
Good job. Come here, Gustavo.
So, what could we learn from your speech?
What was
That the
next?
young people are changing the game right now because their stats on physical are transforming the players.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, we sum it up here. That was the
was the
last.
end?
Yeah, that was our last participant. I think we did a great job as students.
Students did amazing. So this is the end of our TED Talk project of this year. Thank you for watching and thank you for participating.
Bye.